Start your day with clarity, purpose, and energy. Imagine the impact of small changes in your morning routine that, over time, can transform how you live and face the challenges of the day. Today, I will share with you 10 essential things you should do every morning to achieve a more balanced and fulfilling life. Let's dive deeply into the habits that will change your relationship with time, body, and mind, inspired by both ancient philosophy and modern psychology. 1. The importance of a consistent morning routine. A structured morning routine is much more than a series of automated habits. It represents a crucial moment of preparation for the day, where you set your intentions, align with your values, and create the foundation for how you will face what lies ahead. The first hours of the morning can be viewed as a ritual of alignment, establishing the ideal mental, emotional, and physical state for the rest of the day. Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, taught that the beginning of each day should be a moment of reflection on the adversities that would inevitably arise. He wrote in his Meditations that upon waking, he should remind himself that he would encounter difficult people, obstacles, and challenges. But instead of resenting this, he used this knowledge to prepare himself, viewing difficulties as opportunities to practice virtue and strengthen character. This idea of mental preparation is applicable to the modern context. By creating a consistent routine, we ensure that before being consumed by the demands of the day, we take a moment to organize our mind and body. Modern psychology studies show that starting the day with consistent practices, such as physical exercise, meditation, or journaling, activates the brain's reward system and reduces the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. This helps maintain focus and calm throughout the day. A structured morning routine also prevents us from being overwhelmed by the urgency of external situations. Instead of reacting to the chaos of the world around us, we start the day with intention, control, and clarity. Small rituals, such as reviewing your daily goals, practicing gratitude, or simply spending a few minutes in silence, become anchors for the mind. Over time, these cumulative practices translate into greater emotional resilience, mental clarity, and productivity. The morning routine functions as an investment in oneself. It is the time you dedicate to ensuring you are aligned with your values and long-term vision, rather than being swept away by the inertia of daily tasks. This consistency provides a sense of accomplishment, even before the rest of the day begins. The impact of this practice is reflected in greater emotional balance, increased focus on priorities, and a calmer, more centered approach to challenges. 2. Cultivating inner silence. In an increasingly fast-paced world, finding moments of inner silence has become an urgent necessity. We live in a time when external noise, whether digital, social, or professional, continuously competes for our attention. The challenge, then, is not only to organize our activities but also to tame the internal chaos that prevents us from achieving clarity and mental peace. The Stoics taught us the importance of controlling what is within us. We cannot control what happens in the world, but we can choose how we react. And for this choice to be conscious and wise, we need to cultivate inner silence, a state of calm that allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. This silence does not mean the absence of sound, but rather a deliberate pause to connect with your inner self, free from the distractions of the external environment. For Marcus Aurelius, the practice of morning silence was a way to withdraw from the world and prepare his mind to face the battles of the day. He did not see silence as isolation, but as time to center oneself and gain clarity. In modern practice, this can be achieved through activities such as meditation or mindfulness, where we train the mind to focus on the present and observe thoughts and emotions without judgment. This practice gives us a clearer insight into what is truly important, instead of being led by anxiety or the urgency of external demands. By practicing inner silence first thing in the morning, you create a mental space that allows you to face the challenges of the day with more equanimity and clarity. The worries of the previous day and the pressures of the day ahead do not disappear, but by cultivating this moment of pause, you can deal with them more calmly and thoughtfully. The daily practice of silence strengthens emotional resilience, helping to prevent stress and anxiety from taking control. Moreover, there is a significant body of evidence from modern psychology that demonstrates that regular moments of silence and introspection can reduce stress levels, improve mental health, and enhance overall well-being. Silence offers the opportunity to process emotions, organize thoughts, and make decisions more wisely, without the interference of daily distractions. Just as the Stoics advised, silence is not an end in itself but a means of self-mastery. When we dedicate time to connect with this inner silence, we begin the day more anchored, more attentive, and more aware of what truly matters. 3. Setting intentions and focus for the day. Setting intentions early in the morning is a powerful practice that directs the course of the day. Rather than being simply reactive to circumstances, establishing intentions gives us a sense of purpose and control over how we handle what comes our way. This puts us in command, allowing our actions to be guided by our values and goals. In Stoicism, setting intentions means aligning our actions with virtue. Epictetus, for example, taught that we should focus on what we can control, our thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors, and let go of worries about what is beyond our control. This philosophy is incredibly practical for the modern context, where we are constantly bombarded with stimuli and distractions that can pull us away from our most important goals. However, setting intentions is not just about productivity. It is also about defining the quality of your presence and attitude throughout the day. You can, for example, set the intention to be more patient, kinder, or to maintain calm in the face of challenges. These intentions serve as guides for your mind, helping to shape your reactions in the face of unforeseen situations that will undoubtedly arise. A practical example of setting intentions could be spending a few minutes in the morning reflecting on how you want to behave in certain situations or what your priorities are for that day. This practice creates a mental map, where each decision you make throughout the day is filtered through the intention you previously set. Psychologically, this also promotes a greater sense of control and mental clarity, as it prevents you from being sidetracked by distractions or impulsive emotions. On an emotional level, this practice helps us cultivate a proactive mindset rather than a reactive one. When we establish clear intentions for the day, we also become more resilient because we know where we want to go and how we want to behave, even if things don't go exactly as planned. This is a central principle in Stoicism, accepting what happens outside of our control, but having full mastery over our reactions to those events. Therefore, by setting intentions, you are preparing the ground for a day of conscious decisions aligned with your values. This also reduces stress as it provides you with a reference point throughout the day, something that can always be revisited in moments of uncertainty or doubt. 4. The importance of small victories. Small victories play an essential role in building motivation and self-esteem. In Stoicism, great achievements are often seen as the result of small, yet consistent, actions that accumulate over time into significant accomplishments. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, speaks of the importance of improving a little each day, highlighting that the journey of self-development is continuous and composed of the small decisions and actions we take daily. Modern psychology also reinforces this idea, showing that small daily successes generate a cycle of self-satisfaction and progress, known as the progressive victory effect. When we focus on manageable tasks and complete them, this generates a release of dopamine, which increases our sense of accomplishment and encourages us to continue moving toward larger goals. The concept of small victories can be applied in various contexts, from maintaining a healthy habit like drinking water in the morning, to resolving a small work-related task. These victories do not need to be grand to have an impact. In fact, it is precisely the sum of these small achievements that transforms the day and, over time, transforms life. In Stoicism, this practice is intrinsically linked to the concept of self-control and discipline. Epictetus, for example, reminds us that self-mastery over small temptations and challenges is what builds the character strength needed to face significant obstacles. It is not about waiting for the big moment to show virtue, but rather practicing it consistently in the small things, by choosing patience in a long line or showing gratitude in a difficult moment. Furthermore, recognizing these small victories also helps us cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Often, our tendency is to underestimate or ignore small successes in pursuit of something larger and more significant. However, by allowing ourselves to celebrate these everyday achievements, we are training our minds to focus on progress rather than fixating solely on distant goals. This approach helps avoid burnout and frustration, as it creates a balanced and sustainable view of what success means. Small victories can be the fuel that keeps us motivated and committed to our long-term goals, strengthening both our emotional resilience and our capacity to act with virtue. 5. The power of silence and reflection. Silence, often underestimated, is a powerful tool for mental clarity and personal growth. In Stoicism, silence is seen as a space for introspection, where we can step away from the external noise and look within ourselves, assessing our actions, thoughts, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, often spoke in his meditations about the importance of finding moments of silence to reflect and connect with his deeper principles. In the modern world, where we are constantly surrounded by distractions, social media, news, work, silence has become a rare luxury. However, it is in these moments of pause that we find the opportunity to evaluate our lives more critically and deeply. Practicing silence gives us the chance to create space for self-knowledge, allowing us to see our motivations, fears, and aspirations more clearly. Silence is also essential for the practice of mindfulness. By silencing ourselves, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them, cultivating a sense of control over our minds. Stoicism teaches that we should not be slaves to our emotions, but rather observers of them. Silence, therefore, provides the necessary pause for us to process our emotions rationally, rather than being impulsive. From a psychological standpoint, silence can be a restorative tool. It reduces stress, improves concentration, and increases our ability to make more conscious decisions. On busy days, taking a few minutes of silence can be the key to restoring mental and emotional balance. This is especially important in moments of conflict or when facing difficult decisions. Instead of reacting impulsively, silence offers us the opportunity to think before acting, aligning our choices with our values. Moreover, silence connects us with the present. Often, we are so focused on what has already passed or what is to come that we forget to live in the now. In Stoicism, living in the present is an essential practice, and silence facilitates this return to the present moment, helping us to be more aware of our actions and choices in the here and now. Thus, cultivating the power of silence and reflection is fundamental to maintaining a clear mind, making decisions aligned with our principles, and dealing with daily challenges in a serene and wise manner. 6. Accepting and adapting to circumstances. Acceptance of circumstances is one of the central pillars of Stoicism, which teaches us that we cannot control what happens around us, but we can control how we respond to those situations. This mindset of acceptance is not about passivity or resignation but about facing reality with clarity and wisdom, finding ways to adapt and move forward. The Stoics emphasize that fate and chance are inevitable. Things beyond our control, such as health, the loss of loved ones, or challenges at work, will happen. However, what we can control is our attitude towards these situations. Epictetus argued that we should focus only on what is within our control, such as our reactions, thoughts, and attitudes. This philosophy offers enormous psychological relief, as it eliminates the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. Accepting circumstances means embracing reality as it is. This does not mean we should not have ambitions or seek improvements, but rather that we should be ready to adjust our plans according to life's events. Adapting to circumstances is a skill that makes us resilient. Marcus Aurelius described this in his Meditations, where he reflected on the fact that nature follows its course, and it is up to us to flow with it rather than resist. In the modern world, this Stoic lesson is extremely relevant, especially when we face daily frustrations such as work problems, personal difficulties, or unexpected challenges. By accepting the situation as it is, instead of fighting against it, we find solutions more quickly and with less emotional suffering. Psychologically, acceptance is seen as a highly effective emotional regulation mechanism. Studies show that people who more easily accept their circumstances tend to have lower stress levels and greater life satisfaction. This is because, instead of spending energy trying to change what cannot be changed, they channel their efforts into areas where they truly have control. Moreover, adapting to circumstances helps us find opportunities amid adversities. When we face unexpected challenges, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? These are powerful questions that transform difficulties into opportunities for personal growth and the development of virtues like patience, courage, and resilience. Therefore, acceptance is not about giving up or being passive, but about living wisely, adapting to circumstances, and using each situation, good or bad, as an opportunity to strengthen character and advance in the journey of self-development. 7. Facing challenges with courage and resilience. In Stoicism, courage and resilience are fundamental virtues that empower us to face life's adversities without being consumed by them. Stoics teach us that challenges are inevitable, but our attitude towards them defines our ability to overcome them. Courage is more than just not feeling fear. It is acting despite fear, focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Marcus Aurelius said, "Difficulties arise to strengthen the spirit." Challenges, according to the Stoics, are not enemies but opportunities for growth. By facing difficulties, we have the chance to develop inner strength and wisdom. Epictetus reminds us that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but the way we interpret them. With this perspective, we can transform obstacles into catalysts for our personal development. Resilience, within Stoicism, is the ability to rise after a fall, to adapt and move forward even in the face of great difficulties. When we suffer losses, failures, or disappointments, resilience allows us to learn from the experience, absorb the impact, and grow from it. Stoics believe that life is full of events beyond our control, but how we respond to those events is always our choice. In modern society, we are often challenged by pressures at work, personal crises, or global uncertainties. Facing these challenges with courage and resilience does not mean being indifferent or denying suffering, but rather confronting it with a firm mind and a courageous heart, seeking solutions instead of focusing on problems. When we develop this mindset, we not only overcome obstacles but also become stronger and more prepared for future adversities. Psychologically, resilience is considered one of the keys to emotional well-being. Studies show that resilient individuals tend to have better outcomes in times of crisis, as they can maintain perspective, regulate their emotions, and keep moving forward even when life seems challenging. Thus, practicing courage and resilience helps us not only to endure difficulties but also to transform them into opportunities for self-discovery and inner strengthening. 8. Finding peace and harmony amidst chaos. The pursuit of inner peace is one of the central goals of Stoicism. Stoics recognize that chaos and unpredictability are part of life, but they believe that true peace does not come from the absence of problems, but from our ability to maintain serenity regardless of circumstances. This inner peace is cultivated through the practice of living according to our virtues and accepting what is beyond our control. Epictetus teaches that by focusing only on what we can control, our attitudes, values, and reactions, we find a sense of tranquility that the external world cannot shake. Peace, then, is less about the external environment and more about the state of our mind. When we manage to separate what depends on us from what does not, we free ourselves from the anguish and stress caused by attempting to control the uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often spoke about the importance of keeping the mind calm and focused even amidst chaos. He ruled an empire during times of war and instability, yet his quest for inner peace was constant. For him, peace was not a final goal but a daily practice, a mental discipline involving being present, maintaining focus on virtuous actions, and accepting the nature of things. In modern life, the search for inner peace is more relevant than ever. With a fast pace, numerous demands, and constant change around us, finding moments of stillness and harmony is essential for emotional well-being. This peace is not passivity but a state of awareness and balance. By connecting with our deepest values and practicing detachment from what we cannot control, we can live more lightly, even in times of crisis. Psychologically, the ability to find peace amidst chaos is linked to mental well-being. When we adopt a Stoic perspective on life, we stop being controlled by circumstances and begin to be guided by an internal calm. This calm is an anchor that keeps us centered and helps us deal with stress and uncertainty without being overwhelmed by anxiety or fear. Thus, by cultivating this peace and harmony, we learn to live more present, more consciously, and less reactively, allowing us not only to survive chaotic moments but to thrive and find greater meaning in our daily actions and choices. 9. The importance of empathy and mutual care. Stoics deeply valued empathy and mutual care as fundamental pillars for a virtuous life. They recognized that, as interconnected human beings, we have a responsibility to support and care for one another. This connection is essential not only for the well-being of others but also for our own growth and happiness. The practice of empathy helps us look beyond our own experiences and understand the struggles and joys of others. Seneca, in his letters, urges us to remember that everyone faces invisible battles. By exercising empathy, we not only strengthen our relationships but also cultivate an atmosphere of understanding and compassion around us. When we show genuine concern for the well-being of others, we create a support network that benefits us all. Empathy allows us to share the burden of life's sorrows and joys, enriching our own experience and that of those around us. Moreover, modern studies in psychology show that empathy is directly related to our emotional well-being. When we care for others and demonstrate compassion, we not only help those who are going through difficulties, but we also feel more satisfied and connected. The act of caring and supporting each other gives us a sense of purpose and belonging, aspects that are crucial for human happiness. Therefore, the practice of empathy is not just a moral choice but an effective strategy for improving our own quality of life. By looking at the world with a compassionate heart, we create a space where everyone can thrive and grow together. 10. Reflection and regular review as tools for growth. Stoics understood that reflection and review are essential practices for self-knowledge and personal evolution. Taking time to examine our actions, thoughts, and choices allows us to learn from our experiences and align our lives with our deepest values. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized the importance of stopping, reflecting, and evaluating what really matters. Reflection is not just an exercise in looking back, it is an opportunity for growth. By reviewing our experiences, we can identify behavioral patterns, understand where we are going wrong, and recognize our victories, even the small ones. Epictetus recommended that at the end of each day, we engage in self-assessment. What did I do well? What could have been better? These questions help us cultivate a mindset of continuous learning. Integrating this practice into our modern lives can be simple. We can set aside a few minutes before sleeping to think about our day, what we learned, and how we can improve. This not only enhances our self-understanding but also makes us more aware and intentional in our future actions. The regularity of this practice is what brings lasting results. As we become more reflective, we develop a life that is more aligned with who we truly are. Each of these Stoic lessons offers not only insight into how to face life's difficulties but also a pathway to building a more meaningful and authentic future. By cultivating courage, resilience, empathy, and the practice of reflection, we not only become stronger but also contribute to a kinder and more understanding world. If you found value in these Stoic teachings and want to continue this journey of self-discovery and personal growth, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Share your experiences in the comments below. How have you practiced empathy or reflection in your life? Let's create a community of support and learning together. Thank you for watching and see you next time.